All right. Well, a lot is going on in Mets land. You got the four of us on screen. That's a very rare occasion. But other than that, I think we'll get started talking about and ranting about whatever we've seen over the week. And then we have a game in an hour with the Mets and the Cubs at Wrigley. Tomorrow we face Stroman. That's going to be so much fun. Stroman and the Chicago Cubs taking on the big, bad, racist Mets. Boy, it's going to be tough. But other than that, all I can say is welcome to Mets Weekly, presented by Empire Sports Media.
On 3-2, Bader swings and misses, strike three. He struck him out. 5 Met pitchers combined for the second no-hitter in New York Mets history.
All right, before we get into it, I'll let everybody on the screen introduce themselves, see if they can be as loud as the intro is. Frank, I'll start with you.
Hey guys, Frank About Sports here. Made a video last week talking about a under the radar reliever I really like to see the Mets pick up. It's a guy that we might even see tonight. Who knows? I mean, I hope so we can get a good close look at him. But I've been doing stuff like that since the trade deadline is getting closer, less than a month away. Been looking at some potential targets, things like that. Obviously doing the weekly recaps here every Sunday on the Mets Weekly channel. So let's get into it. It's been a while.
All right. My daily co-host himself, I'll go to the Rhine. Who? Go ahead.
Yeah, obviously me and that ghost-looking tub, obviously uploading videos most days during the week, any kind of news, rumors, or ranting topics. And if you didn't check out our greatest creation last, talking about Mark Vientos and our 23 censored, you gotta love it. Gotta love the realism for the two of us. But obviously, my channel content probably going to start after the All-Star break. I'm going to let the break get past. I have some highlight packs. Maybe I'll put like some first half highlights from some guys. I have a few made already, so maybe some like random highlight packs. But most of my like trade deadline predictions and stuff will happen after the break. And then obviously mostly just making videos here, talking with that tub.
All right. Last but not least, the real ghost, even though I'm pretty white like a ghost, TonyMetro. He's never here. He just disappears in Hollywood. Go ahead.
That's exactly why I'm wearing my sunglasses right now. It's not because I'm a huge douchebag. It's because I've gone Hollywood on you boys, okay? You have to understand, I'm just trying to make a little time for the little people here today. And so I figured I could fit you in between, my 10 o'clock manicure. And then, okay, really though, boys, great to be here. It has been a while. I'm really happy with what we just saw from this series. I've been pumping out some articles on Empire Sports Media. I think I've made a trade proposal for just about every player on the Oakland Athletics, Colorado Rockies, Detroit Tigers, and Pittsburgh Pirates. So keep looking out for that stuff as we get closer to the trade deadline. I'm really happy that I could actually be here today.
All right. As Nick Plummer singles in a run, it's 3-0 Syracuse. And that'll bring Alvarez to the plate with the runners at the corners. Other than that, I want to start with the series in Atlanta, like we've all hinted so far. Huge statement. 2 out of 3. We've all seen this happen before, where the division lead has faltered while we're in first place. Then you get, to the June swoon and the July part of the year where, here we go again. We're going to collapse. The old Mets would not have won these games, especially with guys like Jeff McNeil, guys like Starling Marte out. But it seems like a different feeling. And from my initial reaction, and I want to say this first and foremost, I'm really starting to believe Buck Showalter, where he says this is not a sky is falling team, because they've really gotten it together. They've gone through a lot of injuries. They've gone through a lot of scrape-ups, a lot of scares. And they've come together and they've stayed in first place this entire time. So I'm very impressed with that, as Alvarez just missed a homer to right field, but he gets a sac fly. But yeah, I'll start with Tony, since you're barely here ever.
Wait a minute. We didn't mention the thing that Tony's been doing the most this week. That is his work as a chimney sweeper, getting all this smoke that he has been doing for the past week. So I think that's what we want to start with. Tony, how has your week been, and how is your arguments with Atlanta Brave fans going?
I'll tell you what, Atlanta Braves fans are a really hostile bunch. For a combined 160 brain cells between the entire fan base, I got to say, they can give it to you. But no, really, there are some good Braves fans out there, but they were very hostile, and I had to give it back to them. And I can't tell you how happy I am the Mets won 2 out of 3 this week, just purely so that we could talk some more crap to them on Twitter. So it was a fun week going back and forth with them.
We probably could have swept this series if it wasn't for that one call against David Peterson. But you know what? We also scored only 1 run in that game, so you can't really say much. But other than that, offense came together in the 3rd game. Francisco Lindor has pretty much carried most of the offense on his back in this series. But other than that, takeaways from this series. I'll start with Tony. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, 12 more games with the Braves the rest of this season, and I am going to need to be on life support because I was having heart palpitations every single game. I mean, it didn't matter that we were leading 5-0 yesterday at one point. I still never felt comfortable. We've just seen it too many times, especially in Atlanta. That being said, this was awesome. This was a statement series. This is not going to define who's going to win the National League East necessarily, but it definitely shut up some Braves fans and some MLB pundits and other MLB fans that wanted to just already declare the Mets collapse, that the Atlanta Braves were going to overtake them. It showed the Mets definitely belong as one of the top teams in not only the National League, but all of baseball. To go out shorthanded without Marte or McNeil and to come away with 2 wins. But I'd say my biggest impression is what you alluded to earlier, Carson, which was the Buck Showalter effect. It is unbelievable what a good manager and coaching staff can do for a team, because the way this team's pitching staff was instructed to pitch to this Atlanta lineup and the way that this lineup hit and took at bats against their 3 top starters to work the counts the way they did, to drive up the pitch counts of Fried and Strider, and yesterday to just attack oh my God, I always forget his name.
Uncle Charlie Morton.
Uncle Charlie Morton, the way that they did. It was just an awesome game plan from top to bottom, from the pitching staff and from the lineup. And I give all the credit to Buck Showalter, Jeremy Hefner, Eric Chavez. The entire coaching staff did a brilliant job of constructing what I believe was the reason they won these 2 out of 3 here, even without 2 of their best players. So honestly, I came away extremely impressed. Like I said, not saying the Mets are going to win the National League East by 5 games now all of a sudden, but if they play the way they did this series against Atlanta in the remaining 12 games, they have as good of a shot as they do.
As the Braves go back to their usual cushion schedule of 50 straight games against the A's, the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks, and the bottom
Nationals.
scrapers and the Nationals, as we get the Yankees, who, they aren't that good. So whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we have the 1927 Yankees coming up in August. So yeah, look out for that one.
Digging up some of them from their grave. I mean, why not? Any challenge, we'll face it.
I enjoyed watching them in 27, so it's going to be a tough task.
Nice. All right. Well, dissecting all of this series, because I still want to talk a little bit more about this. Pete Alonso, he's been a little bit weird. I'm not going to lie. You've seen him come up in a few spots. I know that he did get that one run in the first game or whatever, but I don't know. Is this the Pete Alonso we're gonna see in these high competitive games, and then someone else is gonna step up? Because I'm kind of getting a little I don't know. I think he gets a little overzealous a lot. I mean, we know about this, but he gets into his head a lot. But I don't know. I was a little concerned with him because he was swinging at pitches that, stupid 2020 Alonso would swing at. So I don't know. Am I just making just, an overreaction out of nothing? But like,
I will say one thing that's interesting is the last time that P. Alonso was in really meaningful games was September, in particular the series against the Braves at home with the whiteout Star Wars uniform. He was terrible in that series. I mean, he was pressing, he was overzealous because he plays so much emotion. You can see it get to his head, and then he starts chasing. And when Alonso's chasing like that, he's not effective. Because the thing is, what bothers me about Alonso is that he doesn't do a good job adjusting mid at bat. So you could get him with the same slider 3 times. Whereas with some guys, it's like you maybe get him once or twice in that bat. So I think maybe at bat to at bat, he's good. But mid at bat, if you could catch him once, you might be able to catch him 3 times. So I think, and I'm counting on the Buck presence and hopefully Eric Chavez to really get into his head and be like, listen, Pete, just do what you normally do. I mean, like, just because it's a bigger game doesn't mean we need a different P. Alonso. We need the P. Alonso that's gotten us to these big games in the first place. So that's something I like seeing them do. I think that adding some big protection behind him could certainly help, because then maybe you don't run the risk of saying, let's throw out the strike zone to Alonso if we take the risk of that big power bat behind him. So this isn't the first time we've seen this with something from Alonso, and so we got to keep monitoring because he still is yet to play a playoff game in his major league career. So we don't know the kind of playoff player he is.
Yeah, one thing that really bugs me about him is the hero ball. I really I can't stand the hero ball with all these players, where they get in their head and they're like, oh, I have to be the guy to just smash the ball out of the ballpark. I need to be the guy to clear the entire bases and put everything on your shoulders. Again, this is a team game, and that's something that I really just get very frustrated with. And you sometimes see it with some of these guys, and you see some stagnance of offense. And but other than that, I mean, it was an overall great series, and that was something that I'm happy. The normal Mets would have got swept out the building. You would have saw a few excuse me runs. You would have seen some pitcher meltdowns. We've seen it all in Atlanta. Now, if there's any other topics that we do want to bring up from this series, Frank, I know you said you had some stuff about.
Just for the Brave series in particular, this was a really good example of why you give Max Scherzer so much freaking money. Because what other guy is going to come into a game that had a lot of pressure in it? Even Scherzer said himself, I mean, this is a guy that has won a World Series. He said this was a big-time atmosphere. And who else would you want in that crazy ballpark with so much pressure than a little madman? I mean, who else would you want in an asylum besides a crazy person taking the mound for you? And that's what Mad Max did. I mean, he went his 7 innings, only 1-run ball. And then the same with Chris Bassett. He's another real high-intensity guy who really showed up big time in the Wednesday game. So getting Scherzer, getting Bassett, these guys really showed their worth. And I think David Peterson, he still continues to impress me. He's been better than we ever could have hoped for, better than we expected. He kept the Mets in that game. Like you said, if the offense could just do a little bit, the Mets easily win that game. So I think that it was just really good to see that, we were facing some good Atlanta starting pitching. Our starting pitching was able to keep with them. And I think that's something that once we get DeGrom back, we know we'll be capable of, but it was good to see it.
There was a pass ball from Alvarez, and a run came in from 3. So nice defense.
Bust.
Another James McCann.
He's a
just
bust.
Here to hit nukes.
Not even. He's not hitting in AAA, but he just struck out Astudillo. Man, he is fat. All right. But yeah, I'll go to David. I'll talk about David Peterson for a second, because I guess everybody wants me to. Don't walk anyone and you're good. Throw strikes. You see what I mean? Like, don't walk anyone. You saw what happened in Cincinnati. He was terrible in Cincinnati because he was walking batters. Say no to walks. That's what I got to say. But no, he's been good. He's looked good. All I can say is that slider, or is it slider or changeup? I mix it up, but that's been kind of
his slider is amazing, so it can't be a slider.
Yeah, his slider's been a huge bailout pitch for him. But he makes me nervous, okay? And I don't like guys who pitch nervous, guys who pitch around the strike zone, guys who are very cautious, who are very no. You have the stuff, attack them with it. That's
I
it.
just have a question, Andrew. You could verify better because you were there. What was one of the keys to this Brave series? What was one of the 5 keys about pitching?
What was it? The chase rate? Let's say we got
Yeah,
chase rate. Yeah.
was it pitching around the strike zone, not giving in? Was that the game plan?
That was a very good game. Yeah.
See,
It was a very,
the
very
Braves
good game.
aren't
He was
good,
just listening to you. He
okay?
was doing what you asked. He wasn't giving in. He wasn't going to throw right down the middle. He's
He
trying
was
to make
throwing
this
in the
guy's
strike
game.
zone. He was throwing in the strike zone. He was throwing in the strike zone. He was throwing strikes. Better than he was in Cincinnati.
No, look, put it this way: when David Peterson has his command, he has the stuff to be a very good MLB pitcher. Like, I mean, he has the stuff, but when he's not in the zone, obviously he suffers. I mean, that's proven, and that's the case for any major league pitcher, any pitcher at any level. But I mean,
Not
he was
starters.
he was dotting the inside and outside corner all night when he needed to throw strikes, and also getting them to chase with that slider that was coming low and in on righties on that back heel slider, and then also trying to tie up the lefties with that one as well. And then even going up in the zone, obviously the one pitch that he got hurt on was that fastball high and over the middle to Olsen, but of course a precursor to what should have been a strike 3 call on Dansby Swanson. So if not for Andy Fletcher, an entirely different outlook perhaps for David Peterson to start. But hey, for this guy to be our 7th or 8th starting pitcher when we hopefully get a fully healthy rotation, not bad at all. Not bad at all to have him come playoff time.
And I am just like, I'm praying that this rotation could get healthy because I would love to see this guy in the bullpen. I just want to see it because what I liked in the Atlanta series was him getting that curveball over. He was all of a sudden just dying a curveball. It was like, whoa, wait a minute. And if you have a guy coming out of the bullpen with that kind of slider and all of a sudden get a curveball over, and he's really good against left-handed hitters. His numbers right and left. You bring him as a lefty that could come in, get lefties out, go multiple innings. That would be really big in a postseason series compared to Chase and Shreve. I mean, the difference between bringing in Chase and Shreve compared to David Peterson is a pretty big difference. So I hope that we can get to that point where the rotation is healthy enough. We could put Pearson in the bullpen, see what he could do. And maybe he could be one of our, Andrew, it's like getting another arm at the deadline.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll
raise you an even better scenario. I'll raise you an even better scenario with lefties. Another ground ball for Vientos. Yes. But other than that, I'll raise you another scenario. You have another guy who's coming off of Tommy John surgery named Joey Lucchesi. And you have a funky man, you have a guys who can, chase out of the zone, guys like that. The both of them as long relief lefties. How does that feel? What do you think about that?
I mean, I have another.
I know Lucchesi had a tough ERA. Listen,
he did have bad ERA. That is true.
But
I'll throw you one more. I'll throw you one more. Is maybe another guy that goes to the bullpen. What if set up Tyler McGill come September? And when do we start saying that David Peterson's a better big league starter than Tyler McGill because David Peterson's shown more stride this past stretch than anything that Tyler McGill's done in his whole big league career?
All right.
So when do we start that?
Now you're opening the gates. All right.
Bring them on. I'll bring the gates of hell. Right? Come on down. But yeah.
Tyler McGill can't stay healthy. He has way better stuff than David Peterson. You're barking up the wrong tree, motherfucker.
Fat nukes
All right.
from McGill.
Gets up too many fat. Yeah, he has way too many fat nukes.
Did Khalil just get hit? No, he's good. Okay.
He's ready.
He's ready. Bring him up.
Fit in perfectly.
Oh my God! Another guy likes to hit the ball on the ground. What is with these guys in AAA like to hit the ball on the ground? I'm sorry, this is dumb. Anyways, and a base hit for Khalil. He's got 2 for the day. All right. What else was I going to bring up? Shit. Bassett.
Bassett.
Bassett yesterday looked great. He contact managed, and that's what he does. He's a contact manager. It's soft contact, no matter what the soft contact is. He looked good, and that was something that was really promising from somebody that's going to be in the middle of the rotation when DeGrom and Max are at the top 2. He's probably going to be the number 3. He probably will be the number 4 when we get Luis Castillo. So,
facts.
But other than that, all I can say is it was a great series. That's all I can say. I will move on to the Cubs Now, Marcus Stroman. Will we face him tomorrow? Because he's facing his old buddy, Taiwan Walker. All right. Does he want to meet up with him? Does he have a little bit of a, ouchie in the shoulder?
Does he have a Noah Syndergaard?
Does he have a Noah Syndergaard in him? What's the deal?
Does he get struck by lightning?
Are we actually going to face him? What's the deal?
I think he throws one pitch and he's like, "Oh, my elbow impingement," and he comes out of the game.
Who's pitching for the Cubs today?
He's going to be out there. I think that, we all are hoping that the Mets just destroy him. I think he'll have a serviceable start. I think we'll score a couple runs off of him, but I don't think that we're going to, put up an 8 spot or anything like that. This is totally from an emotional Mets fan perspective. We usually don't get the last laugh against our enemies or our former players. Okay. You know that to be true. So I think it's going to be right in the middle where the Mets get a few runs off Stroman, but I bet you he's going to go 5 or 6, and maybe it's like 3-1 Mets by the time he exits the game. I'd be totally okay with that.
Bro, we just dropped bombs on the Braves. We're a different team, bro. We dropping bombs now. We're going to light them up like a foster child. 7 runs in 3 innings pitched.
Luis Guillorme had his 1 annual home run, so we can't expect one from Louis. But getting Marte and McNeil back, maybe they'll provide some power for us. But going just overall looking at this series, 3 out of 4 minimum is mandatory, especially with the Braves playing the Nationals already ahead in that first game here today. I fully expect the Mets to do that. A sweep. It's hard to win 4 games in a row against an MLB team, but wouldn't it be nice to go on a 5-game winning streak into the deadline, unlike last year, having that horrible loss at the hands of the Pirates that really was like the line of demarcation in their season when they ended up blowing it? I mean, this would be a huge opportunity to go into the All-Star break, let a couple of those guys get their All-Star, nods and enjoy LA, and the others get some rest. That's what I'm aiming for.
Maybe the Mets add a Chicago All-Star on the way back in that San Diego series on Friday. Who knows? Bring somebody. Maybe make room for a few seats on the plane on a Sunday night. Just saying.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you guys think you're going home? No, you come with us. You're not going on the Cubs flight. You're coming home with us.
Yeah, go face Fernando Tatis if he even plays, or go get another bike accident.
Jeez.
Okay. Well, that's something. All right.
I've been quiet for 20 minutes. You knew it was going to be eventually. I was going to get going. I was quiet for 15.
Now, as we get to the All-Stars, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Starling Marte, and Edwin Diaz. Anyways, you're throwing me off a lot right now. I hope you know that.
I know what I do.
Okay. Are there any? Okay. What was I going to say? Thanks. You know what? You take it. Go ahead. You take it.
Was there any All-Star from the Mets roster? Was there a snub for being the second best team in the National League? You got the second best record, third best record in the big leagues, only having 4. Does somebody deserve to go over goddamn Garrett Cooper, Frank?
I mean, there's a few guys that come to mind. I think what Lindor has done, like in big spots, he's got RBIs. I mean, he's top 5.
Good
in
RBIs.
Good WAR. So how could you not want RBIs? Nimmo, the good F WAR, and we know F WAR is what makes you an All-Star, and great OAA. So with those two combined, I can't say how it's possible he didn't make the All-Star team. There was another guy, but I'll save it for the end of the season because I'm not going to jinx it. So I'll save it for a guy. Definitely looking at Lindor and Nimmo.
Tony, does any Mets that didn't make the All-Star game deserve to be there more than Garrett Cooper?
I mean, Lindor is probably the guy, right? Like, I don't know if I'd totally be saying that if he didn't just have this amazing series versus Atlanta. It might be recency bias, but obviously you look at the FBGLW WAR, whatever WAR you like, and even the traditional stats of RBIs and home runs, and clearly he's far more deserving. But everyone everyone gets a trophy nowadays. So every team has.
And yet the Marlins have 2 All-Stars, by the way. Like they have their 2 guys. So the fact that Garrett Cooper's going there, what?
Yeah,
Mets fan, would you like to answer the question you couldn't get out of your mouth?
Shade. All right. Ottavino, I want to put his name out there because he's been good. Is it
shaky on Monday? They got it.
Is it because he's been like the only solid guy overall next to Edwin Diaz? Maybe, but other than that, Nimmo is obviously one I finally wanted to see him get the nod because he played a full healthy season. He hit a bit of a rough stretch, but like I think he definitely deserved to go, especially when you saw a lot of injuries in like the outfield for the National League. But other than that, I mean, Marcana, he's been good. Has he been all-star caliber? He never really plays to that all-star caliber, so who knows? Colin Holderman is a good one, Merlin. But other than that, I mean, Pete Alonso going to the home run derby as well. Speaking of All-Star Weekend, that is right after the 4th game of this series against the Cubs, correct?
No.
That is like the next day.
The next day, yeah.
The home run derby is like the next day. So the Monday. Josh Bell. Excuse me. What was I going to say? J-Ram's going to be in it. Who are the other contestants?
Kyle Schwarber,
in it.
Julio,
Schwarber,
Pujols.
Why is Pujols doing it?
Acuna and Soto.
They still have not announced that last spot, correct?
Giancarlo Stanton.
I have a proposal for it, and then unfortunately I'll have to bid you guys adieu. But my last proposal, and you tell me, do you think this guy could hit a home run in the home run derby? Dom Smith.
No.
I don't know. If you give him a meatball down the middle, you might as well.
I mean, he gets plenty of them. It's like a checklist for Dom Smith. Take a 95-mile-per-hour fastball right down the middle, knee high every time. Can't hit.
Mookie's pissed.
Will Dom Smith ever hit a home run?
Hope so.
Find out today.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
All right. But other than that, I think like there's other thoughts in my mind. I really need to write these down, but I'm very, very distracted all day.
Yeah. So paper and pen is a great thing to have next to you all time.
Okay.
Really, really good thing.
Now, we do have a video about this coming out tomorrow. But since Frank is the Seth Lugo
apologist
fan himself, what did you see from Seth Lugo in Atlanta? What is the we probably should have had him do this video with us, but we'll let him explain what he saw.
I see a gentleman that is not the guy he used to be, and I don't think he's even worth like catering to, because they did the whole thing where he had that bad game against Cincinnati and they post that stat. Oh, well, he's not doing good in back-to-back days. So maybe you should just, if you're going to use them all at once in one day. I was like, okay, maybe against Atlanta, he had the good first inning. Let's let him go a second inning because you can't use him tomorrow. So you might as well do 2 innings today. Looks terrible in the second inning. And I looked at the numbers. It's like, oh, well, when he works the second inning, he's not as good. And I'm like, if we're only going to be allowed to use this guy for 1 inning, like a couple times a week, what's the point of even having him? Like, if you need to have all these special rules just to use him, he probably isn't the guy that you should be using. So I think it's something that they've got to experiment with because the slider that he threw to Duvall, like, that was the ultimate helicopter. Like, I don't even know what that was. I mean, because Adam Duvall was striking out the whole series. He hit that thing almost to New York. I mean, that's how hittable a pitch it was. So I just don't really know what's going on. His command is very spotty, and he's just giving up too many long balls. He is not the guy that he was. So I think it begs the question of, like, you know what, Adonis Medina, he's been pretty good. Like, I almost have more faith in Adonis Medina than Seth Lugo. That's how bad it's gotten. It could be recency bias, but I've seen Adolis Media give me good outing after good outing, go multiple innings. But with Lugo, it's like if I have to have this very set criteria for him, it's not something I want to count on in the playoffs. I don't trust him enough. So I think, you know what? If you want to trade him, his stock is as low as it's ever going to be. He has minor league options. Maybe send him down for a little bit just to get it figured out. Like, they have to do something because I don't think there's just going to be this automatic switch that all of a sudden is going to go back to being Seth Lugo. So the way they're utilizing him, they need someone more reliable for the role that they put him in because they're putting him in these high leverage spots. It's not like they could use him when they're up 7 runs or this other stuff just to get him a little bit of a rhythm. So I think they got to be careful with him. I don't want to see him come in a big spot, especially facing the power hitter because he's giving up the fly ball way too much.
Well, the slider you saw is a 40 stuff grade slider now. So he's just not the guy he used to be. I think we've talked about this like so many freaking times. I'm not going to give away most of the stuff that we said in the video, but obviously, people not watching this stream or they replay it or whatever, they'll get to see what we say in the video tomorrow. But another thing I want to talk about with the bullpen, of course, another culprit who's pissing me the fuck off. Drew Smith. I understand he came in a very light leverage yesterday, but like, dude, once in your life, man, like, limit the home run ball. Like, what is wrong with this guy right now? I released him from my prodigy layer. Ever since then, he's had a couple few good outings, couple few bad outings. But other than that, like, Andrew, I haven't let you talk. I mean, we did a video about Drew Smith back in his last hellish streak. Like, where does he rank on where you trust him? Like, let's say like if you're looking at the tiers, S, A, B, C, D, F, right? Where does he go and where you trust him? I really want to know.
Oh boy. All right, so let's start in the chicken fingers tier. It's Edwin Diaz, Adam Ottavino, and Colin Holden. Those are my guys. Those are the 3 guys I trust the most in that pen. Then we're going to go in to the chicken patty tier. Is that, I don't even know. It's really, I can't, everybody else is kind of dog shit in that pen that I don't trust anybody else outside those 3 guys. It's like,
Tommy Hunter's probably like somewhere in the
okay, yeah, I'll put Tommy Hunter and Joely Rodriguez when he's sitting on rocks in center field in the chicken patty. And then just everybody else can go in the dog shit category. Because literally, Lugo, BP, Drew Smith, somebody get that man a woman. Because the last time he was good, he hung out with supermodels. Somebody put a supermodel in the clubhouse or in the bullpen, have him cheer him on. Have him sit out. Just have her sit out in the bullpen, and be like, So going with this, but yeah. Drew is completely out of that inner circle, I think. Colin Holderman has obviously jumped him into that 7th inning guy. Yes, he's got a fastball, and yes, I don't know what his actual stuff grade is, but he has something there. We all know if we rage DFA him, he's going to go to the Dodgers, Rays, or Brewers, and then figure out what he needed to be, and he'll be a god. So because Jeremy Hefner can't develop anything. But again, he's out of the inner circle. Of the Lugo, and obviously Diaz, Otto, Holder Dog, and then everybody else. And that's kind of, he hasn't really, Tommy Hunter, I guess I'd probably put him like behind Tommy Hunter, I guess, because like you said, he's had some good outings, but it's kind of like the same thing with Seth Lugo, because he had in yesterday's game a clean 6th or 7th, and then he came out in the 8th, and then there's the homer. So, and I get it, Buck doesn't want to burn the pen, and obviously that's the biggest thing. But, like, he's been struggling. Get out of a game. Positive. No homers. He had a 1-2-3 inning. Get him out the game. Yes, you're going to have to finish it with Tommy Hunter. But yeah, exactly. He got his heart broke. Exactly. He loses the woman, and now he's lost all of his confidence. But yeah, again, and now we're thinking if we go at a reliever, who's going? Let's say they had 2 relievers, you're gonna have to cut 2 of them. Who's that gonna be? You'll see it in tomorrow's video. We'll bring up the term rage DFAing someone. We just talked about him. He could be on the chopping block. Drew Smith could be on the chopping block. If you're gonna add, let's say, throw 2 names together. Daniel
David
Bard,
Robertson and Chris Martin.
David Martin. Yep, David Martin. David Robertson and Andrew Chafin. Just throw 2 names out there. There's 2 relievers. You got 2 bullpen spots. Who's leaving? Tommy Hunter has pitched better than Drew Smith. Yes, it's been lower leverage, but also the times that Tommy Hunter has been put in big spots, he has come through. Yes, he gave the homer last night. Who cares? So you're looking at you're gonna add 2 relievers. 2 people got to go. And I hate that the shortcut answer is probably Tommy Hunter, but then who's that second guy? That's to me the question of what the Mets want to do. Is it Joely? Is it Lugo? Is it Smith? That's because I swear to God, if the answer is Colin Holderman, I'm flying up to New York and I'm ninja kicking Sandy and Billy Epler. So you're in that next group of untrustworthy guys who have something or just washed. So somebody else has got to go.
Would you?
Trevor May's also coming back too.
Yes.
And yeah.
Would you consider Trevor Williams or no? Because you want to still have your long reliever.
And that's the other thing with that. Jesus, they got 2. I laugh. We make fun of the depth, but yet when healthy, we've got a lot of damn pitchers. Oh shit! What are you doing, Trevor Williams?
Trevor Williams.
If
Trevor Williams stays.
When healthy.
Trevor Williams absolutely stays.
He's got to stay.
Strikes, unlike the rest of this fucking bullpen.
But that's the problem. Is even oh, you want to use Peterson? Oh, if you get Joey Lucchese back. Yeah. Oh, if you get Tyler McGill back. I laugh.
Alex Claudio, who just relieved DeGrom.
Hey.
And even in the playoffs, maybe Taijuan Walker's a reliever. Maybe.
Or Taijuan Walker's eating a sandwich in the dugout.
He'd be great for that role too.
Or he's in Cincinnati.
Or he's in Cincinnati for money. Make the money work.
They trade Taijuan Walker for Brandon Drury. I swear.
No, for Luis Castillo.
That's a party. What are you talking about?
That's a deal.
That's
bro.
A party. Taijuan Walker for Brandon Drury. That's a party. Are you kidding me?
It's a party, dude.
You get rid of a guy who's probably going to opt out of free agency. You're going to lose him to nothing.
For a guy you're going to walk in free agency for nothing.
He's going to walk in free agency. He stinks in the second half.
Frank's about to ninja kick this camera.
You know how much Brandon Drew's making this year?
Nothing. He's making $2 million.
I think it's $1 million.
Yeah, he's making nothing.
Okay. Yeah, it's a W.
Hey, it's a salary cap. The Mets need a salary cap.
For $1 million, yet you're going to trade away the guy that's been one of your best pitchers.
No,
really.
Yeah, that's debatable.
A guy who is taking great advantage of Great American Small Park and was a Met, and then all of a sudden was better as not being a Met.
Yeah, I have no idea where you're going. I have no idea where you're going with this ballpark stuff. You know why? Because that's what we have WRC Plus for. It's park adjusted.
What about OPS?
Okay, don't care.
Oh boy, here we go.
OPS Plus. Now that's okay.
And he's going to
park adjusted.
And why are we talking? He's going to go to Seattle. He's not going to Cincinnati. He's going to Seattle. He's going back to Seattle.
Yeah, join his other red team.
Here's the thing. Taijuan Walker is going to melt into 7 different pieces into the second half. We know it's going to happen, right? So why not a guy who's probably going to go to free agency, right? Trade him for
But if he's going to melt, why would he opt out?
Albert Almora, outfield depth, And then
Matt Reynolds, Facebook friend?
Castillo. Then you also
Matt Reynolds too already, right?
Dude, Matt Reynolds is elite, dude. Elite shortstop.
Really good.
You know the actual trade is going to be Walker for Malley, just to completely.
They're the same pitcher.
Exactly. It's just fly ball for fly ball. There you go.
Even though Walker's ground ball rate is up quite a bit from last year, but it's okay.
Still hard contact. You can't contact, man. Imagine having such a high ground ball rate and still can't contact manage. Imagine being that untalented. He stinks.
All right, this is why Taijuan Walker's on the ban word because you just can't bring him up. Same thing with Mike Conforto. Speaking of trades, for actual potential people that the Mets might actually add, Daniel Vogelbach, the big boy himself, big Chungus, big Fupa, big power.
Jesus Christ.
Pittsburgh sucks, obviously. Brian Reynolds just got hurt, so I cried very, very sad tears last night.
Got
And
hurt too. I
we're talking about Brian Reynolds compared to Tyler Malley, Frank. Come on.
sorry.
And they're not trading David Bednar, so I cried last night with my 6-foot shark. But besides the point, the Mets are going to need some DH options and bench options because obviously, again, I'm just sick and tired of seeing Steve from Minecraft and Chance the Rapper on the bench. I need them just out of here. I don't want to see them ever again. So the Mets could use a complete retool, and I kind of say this as what the San Diego Padres did in 2019, where they had a bench that sucked, and then they just went out and added literally everyone. Guys like Mitch Moreland, they brought in Austin Nola, they brought in Jerickson Profar. They just went and completely retooled the bench. I guess kind of it's still early. Why am because I'm taking over, so now I'm the host now.
Go ahead.
The Mets, obviously, we know the sellers. We're hoping there's another one, which there's two teams I certainly hope continue to choke, and just sell some assets at the deadline. But is there some bench pieces you like, Cubs? I mean, on a team that we know is going to sell, or is there a guy you're keeping your eye on? If that dream scenario, if there's a team that's on the fringes that decides to sell, is there a guy you want, Frank, for the bench, or maybe an extra maybe take Mark Canna's job in the outfield?
The one guy I mentioned him when we did our video. I still like him. We're gonna see him tonight. I still like Ian Happ. I think Ian Happ is a good fit for this team. I like him as an insurance policy for Nimmo because he's not a free agent until like 24, I think.
Yep.
So, I mean, at least you got a little bit of insurance policy just in case Scott Boras does his thing. I think we want to be prepared for any scenario. And how often Starling Marte gets hurt? How often Brandon Nimmo gets hurt? What happened over the week? Like, the Mets were lucky they won that series because seeing this team without Starling Marte is freaking terrifying. I mean, the fact that the alternatives were Travis Jankowski and Ender Inciarte, if that isn't a sign that you need to get another guy that can play right field, I don't know what is. Because Luis Guillorme is your backup infielder. So it's not as simple as just, okay, we'll put Guillorme at second and put McNeil in right field. It's not that easy because you need McNeil to move around more. You need Guillorme to move around more. So I would like to see them just get another quality starting caliber outfielder. So Ian Happ, to me, he makes sense because, like I said, I just cannot see what is going on with Jankowski and clearly. Clearly he also has that equation. He can't hit either. So Mets have just had so many outfield problems. And before I go to my next thing, Carson, is it something in the minor league game or something bigger?
No, I was trying to find something I hate about Ian Happ just so I can argue with you, but I couldn't find anything. I like that pick.
Okay, but the other thing I was going to say that's concerning me is that the Orioles, this huge win streak they're on, I'm getting concerned that all of a sudden Trey Mancini might not be available.
Fine, then you trade Brett Beatty for Josh Bell. Fine. No, kidding.
Yes.
No, you
He
just.
is
All right. Well,
when is Trey Mancini a free agent? Or is
he has a
still...
mutual. He's got a mutual for next year, so he could be this. It could be a rental. It could be a second year. All right, I brought this. Okay, I may be higher than Matt Riddle and RVD in a party, but I have had. I was listening to a podcast because I usually that's all I do when I'm bored is I listen to sports podcasts, and there is a DH out there. I talked to Mets fan about this somewhat before he was ignoring me while he was editing tomorrow's video. That there's a certain DH that is a free agent after next season. And it's a game-changing idea. And his owner has already pretty much said they're not going to sign him. I'm bringing it up because it's fun, and I want to see Frank's reaction. Because it does make sense. And he linked the guys we're talking about was the Dodgers to add this guy. Because it's just kind of that their team's going nowhere. And Artie Moreno has already said they're not going to pay him. And the Dodgers have already called. And that is Shohei Ohtani. The Angels suck. But This isn't going to happen. This is a Justin Verlander to Houston type move. Like, at the 4th hour, the Angels are like, maybe you hear, like, oh, they'll listen to it. But you're muted, Frank, yeah.
I just want to know, Ohtani, when is he a free agent?
After next season.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So, Angels aren't going nowhere.
Connection.
Obviously that. This isn't going to happen. This is just a hypothetical here. The Dodgers have already called to see what the price is because the Dodgers want him. Because it makes sense. They want to pay him. They want every superstar, it seems like. But if you're the Mets, he kills 2 birds with 1 stone to an extent. You get your DH, and hell, you get your insurance pitcher. I mean, yes, for the Mets, I wouldn't want him to be a 2-way star. Just go hit fat nukes. I don't need you to pitch. I need you to emergency to pitch. But obviously, this isn't going to happen.
Your emergency pitcher. Shohei Ohtani's my emergency pitcher.
My emergency pitcher.
If that's not luxury, I don't know what is.
I just want to hit 40 nukes. I can care less about the pitching. You're an average pitcher at best. So give me the guy that hits 40 nukes anyway. But it's not going to happen.
All right.
Do you think Artie Moreno? Artie Moreno's already pretty much said he's going to let him walk. So I mean, it is Artie Moreno. They'll be can't say that word. They'll be stupid. And they'll just let him walk. But if a good run organization would take the opportunity to say, you know what, we're not going to sign him. We could get a god load of prospects, players, and especially how god awful that team is. Why not trade Mike Trout too? And just reset everything. It is something to think about, and especially with the Steve Cohen fact that, like, hey, he would pay him. And that is the Mets' major thing is they need a DH. So again, this is I'm higher than a kite right now possibility of this happening. But I did hear, obviously we know the connection. Oli made the article a couple weeks ago. And then the Dodgers people brought that. I was listening to a Dodgers podcast because I'm legit bored at 2 a.m. And they were talking about this. So that's where this is coming from. I don't expect him to get traded. This is, again, I'm higher than a kite. But it would fill the biggest issue. And hell, would I rather try to trade a couple prospects or just give the gods some offer for Shohei Ohtani to be, you know what? We're going to be a World Series team. That's the kind of move a la the Turner Scherzer last year. That's the type of move. I don't think it's going to happen. It's just an idea. Frank, how high? How am I Matt Riddle high or am I RVD high for thinking that?
Well, you're really high if you think it's going to happen like August 2nd. But I think next year, if the Angels do have another year where it's just absolutely awful, like you said, like if the Dodgers are calling, you should be calling too. And if you are a smart organization, you would take advantage of maybe the biggest trade return ever if Juan Soto or Mike Trout don't get traded. Like it may be like the biggest trade return you might ever see. Because Shohei Ohtani, I mean, John Heyman tweeted today. I'm not. There's a few people I've seen today on Twitter. Some people that have a lot of following. That Shohei Ohtani is like the greatest player ever. Like I mean, that's the kind of comparisons he's been drawing because of what he's doing, pitching and hitting. So listen, I'll trade every single guy in the farm system besides Francisco Alvarez to get it done. I will literally forfeit my minor league teams. Everybody but Francisco Alvarez.
Alvarez is gone.
Alvarez is gone. If I forget Ohtani,
he's gone.
I can't.
Oh my god.
But then they still find a way to keep Beatty. Like, hey, you have Alvarez, we'll keep Beatty. You have him, or keep him.
Then you have to ask yourself the question: is it worth getting Ohtani, knowing that you lose Alvarez and the McCann era lives on?
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's the question you have to ask.
Because you would actually get value from the DH, so McCann can be left in the lineup because you get 40 nukes and 110 RBIs out of Ohtani. And Mets fan knows I'm right. He just doesn't want to admit it. Look, he doesn't even want to answer. But besides the point,
how do we even know Alvarez is going to be good?
Exactly, flip him for Ohtani.
Because he has good Twitter highlights. That's how I evaluate my players.
Yeah, clearly.
All right, we need to do the show. We eventually need to do a show in a studio because I feel like it's going to be a fist fight and it'll be awesome. And I'm going to hit somebody with a chair. It's going to be great. Maybe that happens soon. And again, I'm tired of talking Josh Bell and Nelson Cruz and Trey Mancini. And I just said, you know what? That's the new DH. Let's have money. Artie Moreno, Epdog loved him. I don't love him per se. I prefer some other guys, but hell, I take.
What do we think about? I feel like I know Andrew, you and I have talked about this, but Carson, what do you think about the Mets' interest in Andrew Benintendi?
I like the type of hitter he is, but I don't think it helps the lineup.
Agreed.
I don't like he's a. I wouldn't say he's a canna, but he's a butt to ball type of guy. Would you guarantee like a 25 homer season from this guy? Probably not. But yeah, I don't know how that fits in the lineup personally. As a DH, I mean, I don't even know how well he is defensively, and I'm too lazy to look it up right now.
Pretty good.
He won a Gold Glove last year.
No, he's pretty good.
Shut the actual fuck up! Like, I don't like you at all.
I mean,
all right.
From the sense of like DH production, like yes, you're going to get way more production from Benintendi than you are from Dom and JD. But I think if we're talking about just a general overall fit and what this lineup could use just to make an overall better lineup, you need somebody that's more of a power threat. And we have like a couple Benintendis already. It's like we have Nemo, we have Canna, we have McNeil. Like, do we really need another one of those hitters? I mean, we would have Guillorme. You know what I mean? Like, and he's left-handed. And I think what's weird, Buck Showalter's answer for why Guillorme batted left, why he batted fourth was because of how many lefties the Mets have, and he's trying to break them up and have them all over the lineup. So it's clear the Mets do not need another left-handed bat.
So
I'm in the list.
Wait, what?
Conforto's off the list after the draft.
Okay. So I'm in the minority.
To be honest, I think Dom Smith should probably try right-handed. I was talking about this. Like,
Facts.
I mean, he's not getting any success from the left side. Like, why not? Right? Like, try the right-hand side.
I mean, Talon Walker started bad left-hand. He started hitting better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why not?
Why not? I mean,
so I'm in the minority here. I'm obviously, me and you did the video. I wasn't as high in liking the deal. I don't think the Mets want to add power. I think the Mets want to be the Royals. And the Andrew Benintendi, you put him in left, Canna goes to DH.
They had their Kendrys Morales guy.
We have Pete Alonso. That's what they want. They want that one bopper. And Lindor's going to pop you 25. So you've got there's your 50 homers out of 2 players. That's what they want to be, the Royals. They want to do like they did with the Braves. They want to pest the shit out of you, play good defense, and score, hit with wrist, which they've, obviously up and down what they've been doing. But over the season, they've been pretty good with it. Obviously, they've had their peaks and valleys. And I think defensively, he's better than Canna. Obviously, Canna gets to most things. Again, he plays like he's never seen a woman before out there, And if you're putting,
he only plays 2 out of 3 days. Like, Canna's not playing.
Yeah.
Today. So if he's not, you would get Canna to play more by having.
That's where I bring in this thought of Conforto, though.
He's not coming. He got into a bar fight. He's not coming. Enough.
Is he out for the season?
Okay. No, he's coming back after the draft because of the draft pick compensation. That's why.
Let the Phillies pick him up. That's what they want.
You're getting him at league minimum, right? Right.
Maybe. All right. Fine. You know what? Fine.
That's what I think he's worth. So
hell, as a 4th outfielder, fine. But I do think that Benintendi makes more sense. I mean, yes, I want the bopper. I've been crying for the bopper. But Billy Epler showed me no reason why he's gonna add a bopper. He wants this pesky pain in the ass lineup that will get your pitch count up to 70 pitches in the 4th inning.
And I like that mindset. Because
if you want a cheap Benintendi with no,
I swear to shut up.
No,
just sign Conforto or trade for Michael Brantley. I mean,
please give me Michael Brantley.
I mean, I like the philosophy the Mets have of driving up pitch counts, bat to ball, a bunch of tough outs. I mean, I love that philosophy, but I think that we saw in this Atlanta series, like, it just helps to just have a little bit more, just one more big home run threat, in my opinion. But
that was supposed to be Eduardo Escobar.
But besides,
they had a home run yesterday.
Okay.
Is he gonna do it every night? No.
He did 3 nights in a row. I saw him do it.
I guess.
Yeah, and they went to hell.
He's streaky.
I'll take this.
He's garbage is what he is.
This series, you're missing 2 of your best hitters. I mean, yes, obviously it would because when the Braves are hitting fat nukes, that's all they score. But again, you had Travis Jankowski in the lineup every time. So you got to take that with
the ball on the ground.
I mean,
too many ground balls.
McNeil's not gonna hit the ball at the ballpark. Marte is sneaky. Marte every now and then he could get a home.
McNeil's sneaky too. I mean, when he wants to pull, he can hit him out if he wants to.
I don't want him to.
Don't.
We don't want him to.
If you do, I'm going full on. I'm going double the charge I was on him in the offseason if he starts hitting home runs.
But all right, let me at least in this lineup. If you're gonna have the pests, if McNeil's the power hitter, we've seen him hit the homers in the second half. Being what Eduardo Escobar's supposed to be. Yes, the batting average is cool, and we love the fabulous hit. But hell, just tell Jeff, all right, go hit Fat Nukes. We need you to hit Fat Nukes. Go hit, and he's done it before. This isn't like, he went from a 340 hitter to a 290 hitter. That's so bad. Oh wow, it's still bad. But obviously, you like the power bat, but it is something to keep in mind. It's not like Jeff McNeil is not Tommy LaStella, is David Fletcher. Like, he has the power in there. He can hit the homers. But, you want the Babbitt.
He kind of is. David Fletcher is. Both are overrated.
All
Both
right.
of them really should be traded.
All right.
But other than that,
all right.
Yeah.
Robert asked a question. I think we talked about. Frank, was he in our video, Crone? Yeah, he was.
A little bit, but I know Carson's higher on him, so I would like
Carson. Yeah, he loves that Coors effect, but then hates Nolan Arenado.
No, I don't hate Arenado. I literally just hate on Arenado to piss you off. That's literally it.
Okay.
All right. Crone, I like him because he hits lefties. That's literally it. I'm going to tell you right now.
Well, this year he hasn't as much as he did in the past.
Yeah, he's been better.
He did when I was first looking at him.
He did in May.
I have no idea. I've not been keeping up on him at all.
And you like OPS plus, correct?
It's all right.
Okay, because I have the home and away OPS plus at home. Where was it? No, that's for okay. So OPS plus at home 192, OPS away 98. So
damn it.
It's a pretty drastic jump.
We'll go with Drury then.
All right. So and Joe asked the question.
His OPS plus.
So
go ahead, Andrew.
Joe's asked the question that I kind of mentioned it to. There's some teams that you hope sells because they got some very intriguing pieces. And the Giants is being that big question mark. Are they going to sell? Are they going to buy? Because I've had a video that I was going to wait until after the break to say, because obviously I'm waiting to see, are the Giants going to sell? The Giants going to buy? What are they going to do? The Mets DH are sitting in San Francisco. Could be sitting in San Francisco of a platoon. Jock Peterson, postseason hero, seems to win everywhere he goes.
Could have signed him in the offseason.
But he wanted to go to San Francisco, so he pulled a Johnny Gaudreau, except went to a good team, or idea of a good team.
God.
And there's a guy they have out there that hits left-handed pitching pretty well that has some ties to the Mets. Could be a platoon DH option. That's a hell of a DH if you're putting Jock free righties and then a little bit of walk-off Wilmer against lefties. Something to think about.
Anything to get Wilmer Flores back.
Darren Ruff. I mean, if you don't want to go, Darren Ruff kills lefties as well.
No, I'm good with
that.
that.
We don't want to discredit Wilmer Flores is actually clutch in a Met uniform. That's rare. I don't think you understand. That's hard to find. This guy comes up in the biggest moments in a Mets uniform in Citi Field. Not many guys can do that. So I'm all for it. Do it. Because it's not going to cost the arm and a leg.
Nope. I won't kill the fantasy.
I mean, but also Farhan Zaidi is a very intelligent man. Whatever prospects you're going to give to him, he's going to want him for a reason. So he's kind of like the Rays where you're just you make a deal with the devil, whatever you're going to give up. Carlos Rondon is obviously the big thing as I continue to see notification. DeAndre Ayton to offer sheet. Who cares? Waiting for that Donovan Mitchell with the Knicks notification. But Carlos Rondon. Sandy Alderton's already said the Mets aren't going big pitching hunting. So as great as it would love to see Carlos Rondon as a number 3 starter, even though I will own up, I shit on him as much as I physically possibly could in the offseason, saying I wanted nothing to do with him. I still kind of am worried, but he has had a great year. Is now officially an all-star. Should have been on the original ballot, but gotta love Luis Castillo making it. But
get to the point.
They're not going to add a big starter, so that's why I'm not even putting Rondon on the Mets' radar. It'd be lit if they said Jock and Rondon for Vientos, Matt Allen, and maybe JD Davis.
You had your chance to trade Vientos and you blew it. So
They love
kind
the
of
they love.
that Sandy Alderson tweet that Sandy Alderson.
Yeah, pull
tweet.
up the pull up the
Oh,
Heyman because
It's
obviously
also tweeting. Oh,
yeah
geez.
he's
Sandy
sleeping
Alderson
majority of the time.
tweeting.
But yeah, so
Just
that's
got my
why
prune juice.
So that's why I brought it up. He did an article interview with Heyman and Morosi. Morosi's is
I
who's
think you might be on their podcast, Sherman.
Yeah.
and Heyman's podcast.
Sherman, that's who it was. Yeah, but so Frank, back to my platoon.
Right.
Would that be a better version of Chance the Rapper and Steve from Minecraft?
Yes, definitely. And Jock is also clutch, and he does it in the playoffs as well. So he's been part of multiple World Series teams in different organizations. So he has that playoff experience, which a lot of these Mets don't have. Again, it bothers me so much when you could sign him in the offseason because he was a perfect fit at the time. He's even better fit now. So if somehow they could pull it off, hopefully it doesn't cost too much. I hope so. I mean, the Giants have won 2 games in a row, so they had such a big year last year. I'd be surprised, but those guys, they're not franchise-altering guys. They're both rentals, aren't they? They're both last year their deal, so maybe. I hope so.
All right. Tub, even though you don't talk about trades because you don't know anything about building a roster.
Just because I'm on the bottom here, you got to fucking. I mean, Jock. Is he I don't really keep tabs on these guys, to be honest, but I know that Jock does destroy right-handed pitching. I know
Yes,
he does.
and is
does
starting
it
in
have
the
to do
All-Star
with
game.
the ballpark because we all talk about the ballpark being too small or the ballpark being big? Even though there's metrics that basically solve that issue for you. But I'll take him. I would have took him. I mean, over a guy like Kyle Schwarber who pisses me off, or a guy like Nicholas Castellanos who is literally JD Davis. So I mean,
the man can hit a fastball. Are you serious?
I mean,
no?
He can hit a fab. He can't hit. He's reverse. He can't hit a breaking ball.
At least he hits something.
At least he hits something.
Does JD Davis even hit breaking balls? Does he hit anything at this point?
He hits the lunchroom.
He hits the ball hard.
Right in the glove.
I'm telling you, JD Davis is literally just Eric Campbell. That's it.
Well, then get rid of him.
To get rid of facts, but
he's the same thing.
I mean, I'd Seattle. They love Eric Campbell and former Mets. Send him to Seattle. Give me, I don't know, Jesse Winker. Jesse Winker for JD Davis. Who says no?
I just don't like frustrating hitters. That's the thing. And Jock Peterson's definitely not on that.
Okay. I'm not even gonna open that can of worms.
What?
Not even gonna empty. Not even open. Not even open. I'm gonna leave it closed.
What?
I'm gonna leave it closed for another video.
Do you like strikeouts?
No.
We're gonna leave it closed.
Yeah.
Any other last minute from the chat, and then we'll.
No, I don't like Mark Vientos, and stop trying to wedge me to Conforto because he does not strike out as much as you think he does.
I saw about Jock, but okay.
Okay. Chat. We'll give you guys a couple. We'll go for a couple. We'll go for a couple more minutes, then we'll head out of here. And
Thompson's already pitching. Hurry it up, chat.
Fact. We'll give you a couple minutes, and then.
Okay, hold on. I need to look at Jock for a second. Does he hit a lot of fly balls?
Yes, that's literally all he does.
Yeah.
Does he walk a lot?
No, he hits his fat knee. Strikeouts and fat knees.
All right. No, I take him. No, he doesn't strike out that much. What are y'all talking about? That's below the league average every single year, except for one.
Oh, I just realized he's going to get an all-star card, just completely off topic. Oh my god.
He doesn't strike out that much. I don't know what the fuck y'all are talking about.
Oh. Okay. If not, I guess we'll let these guys.
Splits are
we don't again. We don't need to play against left. We just need them to destroy right-handed pitching.
He's a platoon guy.
So I guess we'll end it off here. I guess we'll start with the guy who actually uploads. Frank, anything coming? Streams, content, videos?
I edit your fat ass's censor the whole fucking time.
Whoa!
Get the hell out of here.
There's a scheduled Nemo ground ball, by the way.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, I'm probably something. Oh, actually, maybe some all-star. I'm definitely going to do trade deadline predictions at some point in July. That's definitely going to be one of my bigger videos. But yeah, maybe some all-star content, looking at more trades for the Mets, things like that, and probably ranting if the Mets play bad. That's usually what I like to do. I don't want the Mets to play bad, but if they do, it makes it much easier to make content.
Frank about rants.
Shohei Ohtani has declined home run derby invite.
All right, so it's not going to be
Corey
Ohtani
Seager
about
just took the last spot.
Corey Seager's the last spot?
Yeah.
Oh. So,
This
Donovan's
is going to be a great derby.
You better not.
Yeah. So, Mets fan, I guess you want to tease anything that we do, because usually anything you do, my fat rhino ass is there.
Video about Seth Lupork tomorrow. And then I'm sure we're going to have some trade deadline stuff next week. But yeah, other than that, tons of stuff coming. Content every day. You have probably right after tomorrow's video, you'll have Frank's recap on Sunday and then out through the week. But other than that, yeah. Let's go Mets, because they just started.
I think we should give the DeGrom news. He went 4 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, not earned, a walk, 4 strikeouts, 42 pitches, and was up to 100 miles an hour. So, Big Jake's still doing his thing. And Star Marte is on base. Send Marte.
Send Marte. For me, again, I won't be uploading until probably after the All-Star break. Then I'll start doing my. Maybe I'll do again that like the haters guide to the trade deadline like I did last year, and other things. Obviously, if the Mets make news. Will be videos here, be video on my channel, and just to tease put some good mojo out in the world before we end it off. Just throwing some good mojo out in the world.
It's not happening.
Just throwing some mojo out in the world. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to all our channels. Link down in the description below. Be sure to check out Empire Sports Media for all of your New York sports news, notes, rumors, dialogue, anything. It's all esm.com. That's all linked down in the description below. So thank you guys for watching. If you drop a like, subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.